Audio Jungle.
This just in, rightful King Malcolm takes the throne. Heir to the crown, Malcolm captured his rightful title as King of Scotland after a violent battle against the tyrant Macbeth. With the aid of Macduff, a noble thane and savior of Scotland, Malcolm was able to take back his father's crown. Many locals prayed and hoped that Macbeth's dictatorship would come to an end, but no one could have predicted it would be by the hands of Malcolm, who had previously made a swift escape after Duncan's murder. After Macbeth's death, Malcolm had his coronation at Scone and invited all earls. There he announced his victory and thanked all those who fought alongside with him. Macbeth and his wife, Lady Macbeth, initially seized the crown by murdering Duncan and framing his guards. Although King Duncan's son, Malcolm, was declared to be the rightful heir to the throne, he and his brother fled as they believed that their father's murder left them unsafe. Donald Bayan noted his concern for their safety as he said, "What should be spoken here? What our fate? Hid in an auger hole may rush and seize us? Let's away, our tears are not yet brewed." Due to his noble status as a thane and his relation to King Duncan as his cousin, Macbeth was named the King Duncan's successor. It was soon evident that Macbeth's rule was tyrannous. Macduff, a Scottish nobleman, was once an ally of Macbeth, recognized his friend's descent, and left Scotland to search and return for the rightful heir of the crown. He believed it was imperative for Malcolm to join and the fight and save Scotland from Macbeth's dictatorship. When Malcolm fled Scotland after King Duncan's death, he took a refuge in England, which is where he stayed until Macduff sought him out and convinced him to take his rightful title as the King of Scotland. With no army of his own, Malcolm was given men for his battle by the King of England. It was reported that after their arrival in Scotland, Macduff took off to find Macbeth, and Malcolm led his soldiers into battle against the armies. When Macbeth fought Macduff, he said with confidence, "Thou losest labour, uneasy mayst thou the intreacherant air. With thy keen sword impress me, make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born." Since he believed that he was invincible, as was implied in a previous prophecy, unfortunately for Macbeth, Macduff was cut out of his mother's womb before she could bear him naturally, thus invalidating Macbeth's statement. Soon enough, Macbeth fell at the hands of Macduff, and battle came to an end. "Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold where stands the upsur's cursed head. The time I free, I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearls, that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voice I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland," said Macduff, while he victoriously held Macbeth's head and presented it to Malcolm. This final battle was not for the faint of heart, as it ended with brutal combat. Unfortunately, it resulted in the victory of Malcolm and his brothers as well as soldiers. As the rightful heir, we are now looking forward to the future of Malcolm dedicates his time to undo Macbeth's wrongdoings and make Scotland a better place.
Of course, and the prophecy that those three strange witches told us.
Yeah, I know. So I killed Duncan to be king, and then your sons are gonna be king? I don't think that's fair. Die! Die! I hate you! Die! I think after killing my best friend Banquo, I'm gonna take a nap.
Why did you kill me?
Oh my God!
Why did you kill me?
Has this ever happened to you? Have you killed your best friend and they came back as a ghost to haunt you so you would be so scared that your own wife committed suicide? Well, no more. Well, no more, because now you can hire a murder for only $69.99. And not only that, but if you call in the next 30 minutes to 416-856-2681, we'll buy you, you can order another murder, and we'll send you a 3 consultation with the 3 witches. Murder!
Call now 416-856-2681 and you won't be disappointed. Da 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 da.
Hi, welcome back to We Love Miss Carrie Evening News Broadcast. Tonight, we will be doing an in-depth report on an event that has been going on for quite a while right now. The ongoing case of Tom Robinson. The accused, Tom Robinson, a black man married to Helen Robinson. Most who have worked with him describe him as kind and hardworking. This includes Link Dees, who says, "That boy has worked for me for 8 years, and I have not had a speck of trouble out of him. Not a speck." However, some people do not believe with Link Dees. Mayella Ewell, eldest child to Bob Ewell, is the victim of the Tom Robinson case. Her and her father are accusing Mr. Robinson of raping and beating her. This case has the entire Macomb County on the edge of their seats. The Ewells have been notorious for being uneducated, poor, and especially her father, lazy and rude. Many people of Macomb don't actually believe the Ewells' version of the story. Mr. Ewell says on the evening of the incident, he was coming out of the woods with a load of kindling when he heard Mayella yelling. He ran to the house and saw Tom Robinson raping her from the window. Mr. Ewell said he checked if Mayella was first all right, and then ran to get to the sheriff. Atticus Finch, an acclaimed local lawyer defending Tom Robinson, questioned Mr. Ewell as to why he had not called a doctor. Already, Mr. Ewell's accusations are falling apart. Then, Mr. Finch asked Mr. Ewell to write his name. Mr. Ewell is initially adamant and feels belittled by Mr. Finch. However, it is revealed that Mr. Ewell is left-handed. At this point, we can be suspicious because Mayella's right side of her face is beaten, which seems like someone who is more left-inclined would do. When Tom Robinson is called up, it is revealed to everyone in the court that Tom Robinson's left arm is missing. The crime seems unlikely to be committed by Mr. Robinson at this point. Tom Robinson tells his version of the story, saying Mayella regularly asked for his help to do various chores. He did them always without payment. On the day of the incident, Mayella asked Mr. Robinson to fix her door's hinges. There were no children around because Mayella apparently had sent the children to town to buy ice cream. She then grabs his legs, hugs him, and tries to force him to kiss her. Mr. Ewell was yelling through the window, and Tom Robinson, frightened, ran away. When questioned why Mr. Robinson helped Mayella so often, he says that he felt sorry for her. At this point, it is understood that a black man feeling sorry for a white woman is unheard of in Macomb County. Churches in Macomb are segregated by race. The blacks cannot enter a white church. Simply Atticus defending a black man is perceived with whiplash and ignorance. Some say this case was licked even before it started. But it took real courage to go through with a case like this in an environment like Macomb's. In the end, Mr. Robinson is found guilty of rape by the jury. He is sent to Enfield Prison Farm, 70 miles away from Chester County. Not too long after, he tried running away and was shot dead by the guards. To end off this tragic segment, I read a part of Mr. Underwood, editor of the Montgomery Advertiser's article regarding Tom Robinson's death. Tom's death can be compared to the senseless slaughter of songbirds by hunters and children. Tom is as innocent as a mockingbird, brought down by the injustice and racism in Macomb County. We pray for a future where justice can truly be achieved within a community. And thank you for coming to the evening news. I'm Angelina Lee, and I'll see you next time.
Today here with us, we have our special guest of the day, Banquo.
Greetings.
Greetings. It's good to have you here. Today we'll have a reading some questions from fans from themselves, and your job is to answer them truthfully. To start off, dear Banquo, how do you feel about your best friend's betrayal?
It is with great sorrow that I must say I truly grieve over this betrayal of one whom I considered closest. I am unsure still of what hideous ill thoughts could overtake such a noble fellow's mind to commit such crimes. I do not think words could express the turmoil going through my mind and his own.
Yes, I'm sure fans are also very conflicted. Emily asks, would you go back in time and kill Macbeth before he killed Duncan, granting that you get away with it?
My answer is no, for two reasons. One, the man called Macbeth before the death of our fallen king is a different man than the tyrant he evolved into. I would feel the same burden for killing Duncan as I would feel for murdering my best friend. For he was nothing but a noble man back then. Despite all, I do believe everything happens for a reason. If the chain of the world is disrupted, of course the world will start to fall apart. But foul or fair, I do think everything is meant to be. Alas, if there's anyone I would take the blame on and the chance to end back then, it would be those witches, those hideous women. They were the cause of our misery.
So, would you kill the witches if it meant Macbeth would never become king?
Definitely. The crown is not worth the bloodbath. I don't think so. Even if it meant there was a chance he wouldn't commit those crimes, those witches would for sure prey on someone else's innocent mind.
Even if it means you'll die by trying.
That's right.
I see. Thank you for spending this time with us today and answering these questions.
Of course. It's a pleasure for having me.
Well, that's all from Macbeth's tragedy interview. Thank you for all watching, and now we'll move on to our second segment, How to Kill a Mockingbird interview.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Boo Radley, a very special guest who has been the talk of the town for quite a while now. Isn't that right, Arthur?
Yes, I guess that is correct.
Now, the first question I have for you is, why did you try and get Jem and Finch's attention when leaving the gift in those trees?
Well, in all honesty, I didn't want them thinking of me as the monster everyone assumes I am. I didn't want them to believe the rumors spread about me. And to be quite frankly with you, it almost hurt my feelings hearing those rumors.
I see. And how did you feel when the tree was filled up with cement?
Well, obviously I felt sad. I had felt like I was almost able to make those kids happy, and I was almost able to change their mind about me.
Okay. Do you have any idea as to who may have closed up that tree?
Sure I do. It was my brother.
And why would your brother do that?
Well, you see, my brother wasn't very happy about me doing what I did with the tree because he always told me that people think about me differently out there. And so,
Yeah, and do you believe him?
well, no, because the only way for me to change their minds about me is by doing the exact opposite what my brother wants me to do, which is go outside and talk to people.
Is that what you did when you saved Jim and Scout that night?
Well, yes, but also I couldn't just stand there and watch the rabbit dog Bob Beale traumatize those kids.
Okay. So then tell me, how did everything go down from your perspective?
Well, I was standing at the window and I noticed Jem and the Scout heading home after their play at school. And I also saw Dragon Bob Ewell attack them. So I ran down and I pushed Bob Ewell off little Jem, and he fell on his knife. And I didn't see the knife, and I was trying to get the kids to their home safe away from that monster.
And were you scared that you would be charged with murder?
I think I was mostly scared that people in town would think of me as more of a monster. But I knew that I wouldn't get charged because I was just trying to save the kids.
Well, you did a very brave thing. Thank you, Mr. Arthur, so much for doing this interview, and that is all for now.